we got to talk about you being on the cover of the show 23. How does it feel to be on the cover? This is a big deal.
I mean, it feels great. You know, every kid's dream that any sport that you play, that's like who you look up to as a cover athlete. So like to be one of those guys, like I'm honored, you know. It's still speechless to me to this day. I turned it on for the first time yesterday to play it, and it still like gives me chills.
All right, now there's a great feature. This year's game will include an option to play as a Negro League player. Talk to me about that addition and what that means to the franchise and to you.
I mean, I feel like it means a lot to me, especially the year that I'm on the cover that they brought the Negro Leagues in. I mean, Jackie Robinson was my grandma's favorite player when I was growing up watching. She said that's who she watched when I was growing up. Her favorite team was the Dodgers and everything. So for them to bring it in the game this year, it means like the world to me, especially like when I get to wear 42 and all that stuff.
Talk to me about how important it is for fans to be educated about players from the Negro Leagues, because a lot of players weren't even able to play in the MLB. Like you mentioned Jackie Robinson. There was some who said that they were better than Jackie. Talk to me about being able to be educated about that.
I mean, I feel like you got to learn your history. You know what I mean? Like, we only talk about people in the MLB, like the Babe Ruths and the guys before the Negro League and the guys that were playing in the Negro League that could have been in the MLB, like Satchel Paige and those guys. Like, when you learn their story and you see them and you see the stuff that they were doing back then, because they make you play it in the video game as like a story mode and how sick it is. And then you really look back and be like, wow, like, I could imagine if this guy was a MLB player and see if we would have been talking about him instead of like Babe Ruth and all those guys, you know?
In your estimation, what do you believe is going to take to have more young black kids? I was able to play baseball, but then once I got older, it was basketball and football. A lot of black kids don't necessarily know just how dope baseball is. What do you believe is going to take to get more black kids in the sport?
I feel like it's going to take more of us, like more people like me, like who are going to just enjoy the game and show like, and don't be afraid to be yourself and show the culture. You know what I mean? Like when I think of it, like when I first got there, the first thing I was told is, hey, don't be too like, you know what I mean? Don't be too from the hood. Don't be this, don't be that, you know, don't be too black, basically.
Too urban.
Right. So, and I was like, well, I'm not going to lie to you. If you don't like that, you just got to ship me off somewhere else, because that's who I am. That's the only way I can play baseball well. There's nothing wrong with being you. There's nothing wrong with being too urban. Because in basketball and in football, is there anything about being too urban in football and basketball?
Nope.
You could be yourself. So why not be yourself in baseball? And that's where I feel like baseball kids run away. Our kids run away from baseball because they can't be themselves.
Do you get any blowback from being authentically who you are?
100%. You're always going to get blowback. Oh, you're too flashy. Oh, you're too this. No, that's just who I am. I'm not to anything. I'm to myself. And that's what I try to prove with like the way I am. Like I wear my chains. I wear all my stuff. I wear my fashion stuff. I wear Cartier glasses on the field. I wear anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like just to show the kids like it's okay. Be yourself.
The league is implementing new rules in hopes of speeding up the game and making it more exciting. How do you feel about these new rules?
I have no problem with the new rules. I mean, like when you really look at it, like the new rules are basically the old rules. If you really look at it, the bases shrank in the past, basically. So they made them bigger. So it's basically almost the same size as they used to be. So then that's back in the old school days. Now we're back to a pitch clock to where, don't forget, like old school guys, they were trying to beat guys. They weren't throwing 100 miles per hour. So they were trying to beat guys by, hey, as soon as you step in that box, I'm going to try and, okay. So like, if you really think of it, it looks like we're playing old school baseball again. They weren't picking off that much in the old school. Like, I mean, they probably were, but like now it's like they want the catchers to throw them out. Like you got a catcher back there. You got to throw someone out now. Like, so like, I'm enjoying it. No shifts. Back in the old school, they weren't shifting back then. Like everybody play your position. So, I mean, I'm with it. I'm with it. I enjoy it.
just talking to you, bro, I can feel your confidence, man. And you've been confident since you came into the league. Recently, you tweeted, it's so funny, when I play 155 games this year, the bandwagon gonna be real, and I don't want to hear it. Your tweets have been bookmarked. Hashtag keep doubting. So would you say you have something to prove this year?
I mean, yeah, because everybody's like, hey, you always have something to prove, especially like I have something to prove to myself. You know what I mean? Like I've never played a full year. I have to prove to myself that I can play a full year. To the other people, I don't have nothing to prove to anybody else because they know I can play baseball. It's me proving to myself like I can play a full year. That's the only thing I haven't done.
What is the ceiling for Jazz? Like, when you play 155, like, can we see, do you think you could do 40-40? Like, where do you see your ceiling with you playing the entire season?
I feel like my ceiling with me playing the entire season is like, yeah, I could see myself hitting 40 and stealing 40 because like just the way I play baseball. If I just tone it down a little bit instead of trying to go 1,000 miles per hour every like from the beginning, I can play the full season. And 160 games, I could definitely hit 40 homers.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.